Alright, so this is Chapter 2, Lesson 1, Decimals and Fractions from California Math, your Common Core edition by McGraw Hill Education. I make these videos for my daughter who's in homeschool and working through this book. She's in 6th grade, and she watches them and then goes and does the problems. So I figured I'd share these videos with other parents and kids who are working through the same book. So in Lesson 1, they talk about two things. If I give you a decimal number, we should be able to convert it to a fraction. And if I give you a fraction number, we should be able to convert it to a decimal. So there's two tasks there, and because the tasks are involve fairly different steps, I've decided to break it up into two videos here. So for this video, I'll just be talking about going from decimals to fractions. Now, key to this step, decimals to fractions, is understanding place value and the names attached to these different place values. So here's a decimal point. This is the tenths position. Here's the hundredths position. Here's the thousandths position. All right, so we'll have to keep that in mind, so I'll leave this picture up there. Our directions are write each decimal as a fraction in simplest form. So I view these problems as having two phases. The first, just getting the decimal into a fraction, and then we pause and catch our breath. We look at the fraction and then see if it's in simplest form. So we will be using some tools from Chapter 1, because in Chapter 1 we learned about simplifying fractions, or writing a fraction in simplest form. Okay, so let's get started. So this is 0.7 or 7 tenths. Right, so 7 in the 10th position. So this is the number 7 tenths, 7 over 10. And that's it. So we really have to know our terminology to make these conversions. The tenths is why we put the 10 down here. This fraction is in simplest form, so I'm done with part A. For part B, I do the same thing. You should really pause the video and try to solve part B and C, and if you get it wrong, that's fine. If you don't, then great. So let's go ahead and read this number. I have 6 thousandths. See, that 6 is in the thousandths position, 0, 0, 6. So as a decimal, or as a fraction, this is 6 1,000ths. The first phase is done. I've rewritten my decimal as a fraction, and now I want to reduce this fraction. Both these numbers are even, so they're divisible by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 1,000 divided by 2 is 500. And then we check, can we reduce any more? And 3 and 500 have no common factors other than 1. So this fraction doesn't reduce anymore. If you're unsure, you could always try and divide the 3 into 500 and see what happens. See, 3 is a prime number, so if these do have common factors that are bigger than 1, it'd have to be a 3 down here, but 3 doesn't divide evenly into 500. All right, so we are using our practice and experience with simplifying fractions here, putting fractions in simplest form. All right, the last one, 0.84. That's 0.84 hundredths. I could have an 8 and then a 4 in the hundredths position. So that's 84 over 100. Phase 1 is complete. I've written my decimal as a fraction. And now phase 2 is to reduce the fraction. Both the numbers have a factor of 2, so I'll divide out that 2. So numerator gets divided by 2. Denominator gets divided by 2. And then I look. Can I reduce more? Yes. Both the numbers are even again, so I can divide by another 2. 42 divided by 2 is 21, and 50 divided by 2 is 25. This fraction is in simplest form. There's no further cancellation I could do in this case. One thing to mention is maybe you saw that 4 divided both 84 and 100, and so you divided your numerator and denominator at this step by 4. You would have jumped to here in one step, which is great, but as long as you're getting there is the main thing. So even though I deliberately took 2 steps to do this, it's just easy to pick off factors of 2, because if both numbers are even, you could just divide out by that 2. So it's not a race to reduce the fraction, just as long as we get it in reduced form eventually. All right, so the second example I want to do is to write 7.65 as a mixed number in simplest form. So to write 7.65 as a mixed number in simplest form. So what I've done here is just added a whole number part, that's 7, that's coming in front of the decimal. And that really doesn't increase the level of difficulty very much. We'll still have to do a similar computation, but that 7 really doesn't make the problem much harder. And so we'll go ahead and start. I have 7.65. Just like in example 1, I'm going to read this number using these words. That's 7 and 65 hundredths. 65, so hundredths. 65 over 100. That's done with phase 1. I've converted my decimal to a mixed number. Now I just have to reduce this fraction. Both those numbers are divisible by 5. If you weren't so fast to see that, no problem. Divide both my numerator here by 5 and the denominator by 5. The 7 remains perfectly still. You don't divide the 7 by 5. Just this, you're replacing this fraction with an equivalent one. 5 goes into 65 13 times. If you have to do a side calculation to see that, that's okay. 5 goes into 120 times. And we're all done. 7.65 as a mixed number in simplest form is 7 and 13 over 20. Now I do recommend going and practicing the specific problems in the book where you're asked to convert a decimal to a fraction before watching the second video and before doing problems where you convert a fraction to a decimal. I'm of the opinion that it's good to take things slow and let's get really good at this and comfortable with that idea before learning how to go from fractions to decimals.